Good morning. It is the morning here. The sun is just coming up. I've just woken up to the news that another legend has died, the great Roy Haynes. What can we say about this man? Roy Haynes' career started in 1942. That's over 80 years ago. His first gig, or one of his early professional gigs, would have been with Lester Young. Lester Young being, after Coleman Hawkins, one of the architects of jazz saxophone. He then went on to play with Charlie Parker. And from then on, he's played with absolutely everybody that you can think of. So, we're not just talking about him because he's played with everybody. This man has been behind every major movement in jazz for the last 80 years. Next year in March, he would have been 100 years old. He was 99 years old. And we all thought he would never die. We all thought he would carry on forever. One of my favourite jazz drummers of all time. I first came across him actually on the album Impressions by John Coltrane. Obviously that quartet was famous for having Elvin Jones on drums, but earlier on Roy Haynes stepped in, and of course the Impressions album, which was where Coltrane sort of took that modal idea of jazz and pushed it to the limit. And who was there behind? Roy Haynes. Now Roy Haynes had a very signature style. Roy Haynes could be very aggressive, but he also could be very subtle. His control over the ride cymbal was absolutely incredible, and his ability to work in all sorts of different contexts is unparalleled. Another album that's worth mentioning would be Duster. Now Duster is an album from 1967 by Gary Burton and could be described as the first jazz fusion album. It's definitely a contender. And who's the man on drums on that? Roy Haynes. Now, when this happens, I always wish to sort of react as straight away to capture the feeling. You know, I mean, if I'm going to do a proper tribute to Roy Haynes, I would do some research and and I would get some album covers up and work out the albums I want to push forth and have a think about it. But when somebody passes like this, it's such a shock in a way. And I always want to react straight away. And in thinking how I was going to do this video, I thought of something that happened last week. I have a friend called Kevin Gammond, and I've known Kev for 30 years, and he's sort of like my mentor. He's 20 years older than me. Kevin is an incredible musician. He started at 16 years old playing guitar with Jimmy Cliff. He then went on to form the Band of Joy with John Bonham and Robert Plant. And then after that, after they went off to form Led Zeppelin, he was in a band on Island Records called Bronco. He then travelled all over the world, you know, at one point living in Italy and working with all the Aphrodite's Child prog people, and eventually ended up in Holland making modern classical rock and roll with Louis Andriessen. He's had an incredible career. And Kev has always been, for me, a person where he doesn't take any crap musically. You know, you can't pull the wool over his eyes, you know. So if you think something's good and you play it to Kev, he will go, yes, it's pretty good, but... And he will see it because he's seen everything. He's done everything. You know, he's had John Bonham drumming behind him at some point in time. So he's got high standards. And he popped into my studio the other day and we were chatting about drummers, talking about great drummers. And I said, Kev, do you want to really hear a great drummer? Now, at that point, I could have put on Billy Carbon, I could have put Steve Gadd, Nirvana, Michael Bolton, Vinnie Colaiuta, all my favourite drummers I could have put on. But instead, I went to an album by Chick Corea that came out in, I think, 1980, 81. And it's called Trio Music. It features Chick Corea on acoustic piano. It features Miroslav Vitous on the double bass. And also we have Roy Haynes on drums. And on this album, it's a double album. The first disc contains their take on various Thelonious Monk tracks. Now, they are notoriously difficult to play. And then the second disc is a collection of free improvisation. And on there's a track called Slippery When Wet, which is improvised, but is based upon a quite a simple theme. It actually goes like this. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-da, da, 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 da. That's Thelonious Monk, isn't it? God. That's Thelonious Monk. How does it go? It's an 8-bar theme. I thought I'd be clever there and sing it. It didn't work, did it? No, I can't remember it. And we put this on, and Kev's face, as soon as he hears Roy Haynes kick in, he's like, "Oh my God, who's that?" I said, "That's Roy Haynes." He goes, "He's so clear. It's so clear. The drum sound. I've never heard drums sound like that." And the touch and the reactions of what's going, and it is absolutely incredible. If you want to hear Roy Haynes do what Roy Haynes do, go and check her out. Slippery When Wet, off the album Trio Music by Chick Corea. I get home last night and Kev's messaged me. He says, "What's that album? I need to know it. I need to know more Roy Haynes." And for about a week he kept coming in and said, "Oh my God, Roy Haynes," like that. So it's been an odd thing that we've been chatting about him so much. And I've been turning around and saying, he's still playing. He's like 99 years old. He's still out there playing. It's a cold but sunny day today. I'm out in my garden, which is a bit of a mess at the moment. Having to do too many YouTube videos. And so I thought I'd try and catch the light. It's quiet. Not a cloud in the sky except for jumbo jets. Another day. Sun comes up, sun comes down. But not for us all. And for some people, the sun goes down and never comes up. And it's a mystery, isn't it? That is a mystery that we really don't understand. It's the ultimate mystery. All we can do is, while we're here, is do the best we can do. And whatever you do in life, you have to do it with love. And that is the one thing I've learned at my age. And I think when you listen to Roy Haynes, that's what you hear. It's not about chops. It's not about technique. It's not about the cool licks. It's not about being famous, having loads of views on Instagram. It's not about that. It's about the love. And I'm sure so many people wanted to work with him, because not only could he deliver the goods, but the fact that he was on your side. He'd got your back. That's what a drummer does. Rest in peace, Roy Haynes, 1925 to 2024. One of the greatest drummers in jazz history, and one of our last connections to this incredible music form. I think we've got Sonny Rollins who's still alive. Marshall Allen is still alive. I think he's 100. Lou Donaldson. And so that era that we love is passing into myth. And soon there'll be nobody that you can sit down and talk to and say, "What was it like playing with Charlie Parker?